All right, hello. Let's start with what's always first. Sumo development and Ricky.
Oh, you guys are broadcasting. Perfect. Sweet. Hello. Um, yeah, we're working on search as usual. Last week we found the Elasticsearch performance wasn't too good, so we turned it off. And tomorrow we're pushing a fix that hopefully makes it closer to what Sphinx performance is. And if it's not, we have more things to improve. But we did the quick fix and hopefully that is good enough for this week. While we continue to work on further performance improvements, and we also fixed the bugs in advanced search, which some people were running into, and yeah, and some KPI that graphs we've been adding and stuff. That's pretty much it.
What was the problem with Elasticsearch?
So there were some searches through the advanced search that were returning no results, mostly stuff that contributors care about.
I noticed that.
And yeah,
I was
and
looking for things with specific usernames, and it would give me zero
yeah,
results.
so that's fixed for tomorrow.
Got it.
Any questions?
Questions. Kadir, did you want to say anything about sprints, planning, or talking about that stuff?
I will actually
We can barely hear you.
I'm not sure if I should say this here already, but I talked with a lot of people on the team about how they feel about their input into what goes into the sprint and what not. And so it looks like most people first don't know what goes into a sprint, and second, don't think that they can influence the sprint. While it is true that a lot of the things that the development team is doing um, is is already locked down by our quarterly goals, that isn't true for everything. And what I asked whether people would like to have a meeting before we do the sprint planning, but a lot of people weren't actually very happy with that. So what I'm proposing is, what I would like to do is do a post where I detail everything that we want to take into the next sprint, and then basically send that out on the blog, on the forum, and to everyone on the team. And then everyone can give their opinion on whether they like it or not. And I would do that a week before the actual sprint starts. So to give everyone the opportunity to see whether they think it's all important on that sprint or whether there is something that they deem more important to themselves. Also, as a long-term outlook, there will be a preliminary roadmap for 2012 that I'm working on with Brahm, and that I will be working on with Brahm, I should say, to estimate the design needs for that, so that we can ask the development team for the estimates on how long it would take to implement. And once we have that, we will basically have a timeline for the entire year, and people would be able to see the timeline and give their opinion on what they think should be in there as the big ticket items. I'm not talking about specific bugs, specific small features, but the big ticket items. And then we could make sure that everyone has input into what comes first. At least has a say, or at least can voice the opinion and actually see what is coming up over the next month, 3 months, 4 months. Yeah, so I just wanted to I just wanted to let you know that I would like to do that, and wanted to see what you think about that. But maybe this wasn't the right forum to say all of that. um, yeah, so I will do the post next week. That is 1 week into our sprint, and 1 week before the next sprint, and then we can take it from there. Unless someone has feedback here right now.
It sounds good.
I can't hear that question. Was that a question? Or was that just someone talking in the background?
From whom?
Yeah, that was actually not someone in the room.
Oh.
We're in a room that calls, what is it called?
Rest and relax.
Rest and relax, so you could say that we're in the restroom having this meeting.
All right.
This stuff is going on the internet for posterity, just so you know.
Do you think it's okay? I mean, you can also give me feedback later on after the meeting, if you want to.
I think that sounds like a good plan, personally.
Yeah, I like the increase in communication. That's cool.
Okay, any more questions for development? Nope.
Can anyone hear us from Berlin?
Yes. We can.
What a sad meeting.
I'm just freaking out. The window is moving my building, I think.
What's moving? Your building is moving?
Earthquake!
Because of the window. Oh, the wind, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
The lamp is lamp. Not the window, the wind. Sorry, the wind.
Okay. UX. There's a update. The update is the UX team is waiting on a sign off of the phase 1 stuff before they go on with phase 2. And I linked it there where it says phase 1. I also put it under knowledge base. There's a contributor thread with the links to the audio and slides of the presentation and a big 30-page document of some of the recommendations. So if you haven't seen that, you should take a look at it. If you have feedback, please let us know. Post it in the contributor forum. Some people already have. We need to figure out what to do. We need to move on soon, so. And I don't think Bram or Crystal are in the meeting, so. So, roundtable. Madalena, hello! David, do you want to turn on a microphone or something over there and say something?
Hello now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay. Hi. So this is my first day. Nice meeting you all. It's been a very long day and quite confusing, so I'm a bit, what's going on? Even my computer doesn't want to log to the video chat, so I have to share. But everything will be fine. I'm very happy to meet you all and be here, and I'm looking forward to actually start working. So yeah, great.
And David's all frozen. Is he right there next to you?
Can you hear me?
Here? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I wanted to actually take some time to go around the table and have everyone introduce themselves to Madalena, but now I'm actually increasingly starting to feel that that's not a good use of our time here because of the terrible, terrible, terrible connection here in the restroom. So what I suggest is that, Madalena, if you would like to spend, just 30 seconds, 1 minute, and introduce yourself on what your background, that would be very valuable. But then maybe we could use the rest of the team can introduce themselves to you, in a more bandwidth. Okay. Oh, look at this. My connection was lost. Yeah. So, please, Madalena.
Okay. So hi everybody. I think I know myself. So my name is Madalena. I have just joined the SUMO team. Can you still hear me? Yeah. Okay. I have just quit from Google. Hi, Eva. um, where I was working with the AdWords community, so the advertising communities in Google, and now I'm moving on to something much more exciting that is Firefox. So yay! I don't know anything about me more than that. I'm not very good at introducing myself, so you can just ask, I assume. I speak 3 languages.
That's very good. That means I need to introduce you first, because otherwise I was going to mention the 5 languages from you. Okay, good.
Totally can't hear anything else. Hello. David. Can't hear you.
You're speaking for yourself.
All right.
That's the microphone.
If I were like a news reporter or something like this, this would be one of those YouTube events where they record me and say like this, look at this news reporter freaking out and you know getting fired because I'm that close to say something very inappropriate. But sorry about. So what I was trying to say is welcome, Madalena. Very excited to have you on the team. I also tried to say that Rosanna and Madalena together form a team of community experts that will together help us grow the community and strengthen the bonds with our community of people around the world, both in terms of user-to-user support and self-help, like knowledge base and localization. So welcome. And with that said, I think over to Michael.
Okay. Vito has something to say. He's on the phone. This is your. Go ahead, Vito.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Hope you read me okay. I'm in Munich, Madeleine. Welcome to the team. I'm usually sitting on and listening, and my issue is localization and my mother language and whatever SUMO plans for the future in this regard. And of course, you can be sure that I'm reading everything I can. But at the moment, SUMO is 93% English. And as you all know, the world looks a different way. The 400 million customers that we have. So I just plead that somehow, sometime in the future, all the material that we have localized, me and my colleagues, will be put to some good use to our customers that do not speak English. And that was it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Vito.
Thanks, Vito.
Thanks.
So let's see. Other things on the round table. Just some notes.
Hold on, Michael.
Yes.
I expected that to be a start of a discussion, not just spilling that's the next point, you know. David, you're the boss. You probably know what's planned and what's coming on, you know. Okay?
In terms of what exactly? Localization?
Let me be a little more specific. In my case, the specific Slovenian case, I'm at 100% in all the material that is necessary at the top. But given the current system, I don't have any idea, and I have a bad idea actually, that nothing gets to the local population of those that should be reading this material. Even if F1 is in the localized Firefox, even if they get to the starting page, in essence, it's like a big, nice local island away from the population that it's planned for. And the question thread is missing in a local fashion, and maybe ideas how the other big communities like German and French community are handling this problem, because evidently they don't have this problem. But if I look at the visitors in the contributors forum, the number of the non-English speaking participants, you'll agree, has dropped drastically in the last year or two, which means that they took a different way, or they realized they have to do it in a different fashion. I really don't know. But bear in mind that all these translations that we've been doing faithfully and with the nose down to the ground, should be used by the customers. They are not some badge that I put on my chin or my tie. It's something that should be used for the local population. It doesn't get through. And not because I wouldn't be trying. And I guess I'm typically disrespect. If not, I would be delighted to learn how other groups are dealing with this situation. Like here's a big, fat, nice, professional amount of material, localized. And on the other side, I have a bunch of customers, 150,000 in Slovenia, I think, that probably are not that smart to be without any questions that should be answered. Now, probably I just repeat the story, You know it yourself, I had.
Ibai,
I'll go mute
sorry,
and listen.
Vito, am I understanding correctly that you're asking about the timeline to open up the support forum to non-English users?
Correct. And I was assuming that this timeline was planned sometime before we started 3 years ago to localize everything. But Johnny come lately, I love to hear that it's planned. My problem only is I don't see it anywhere, and I've been reading the materials. You have to bear in mind I have 2 jobs, and then comes Mozilla, so I don't have the whole day to go sit on IRC,
Where is it in the timeline?
Yeah, and you're totally right. The thing is, Vito, we do have that planned for 2012, but like I said earlier, the timeline is not there yet. So I'm working with Bram on creating the timeline. And once we have a preliminary timeline, you would be able to see where it sits in the timeline for 2012 and everyone else on the SUMO team. Because right now, not only you don't have an idea, we don't have an idea either. So it is something that is coming up as a timeline.
Right.
That we would have to talk about.
I'm not. If I have a bitching and moaning tone, it's not my intention. I would be delighted to be of any help, And
not at all.
You all guys know me that I'm positive, But I see this amount of capital that's been localized and said, damn it, Like,
okay.
How do I get it to my customers,
I totally understand that, Vito. The problem is with the, I understand we didn't actually want to expose all those strings in the forum on verbatim. But unfortunately, there is no technical way to only expose the strings that are visible to non-English speakers. So when we do localization, we have to basically put everything into verbatim.
Wait, is this about the strings that were translated in verbatim that has gone to waste?
Yeah, well, that is...
Vito. Hold on a second. It's not about the strings. Right. This is peanuts. I'm talking about my Adobe fell down on the floor and spilled the guts, and I upgraded it, and I screwed up my whole all the questions that we are seeing on the English-speaking questions, and I'm pretty sure that exactly the same kind of questions come to people that speak just Russian or just Chinese or just Japanese, etc. And how do they get their answers?
Like I said, I totally agree with you. And actually, the team also agreed on doing that this year. And as soon as we have a timeline, you would be able to see that. We are totally on the same page that localized teams need to be able to use SUMO for their questions as well.
Vito, can I step in? Because this is something that I was pushing, and Kadir knows that David, that since almost day 0, I was wondering why we didn't offer that as an added value to our platform. And the fact is that it's not technical. issue, it's also like a human issue too. I mean, and
Absolutely.
this is the explanation. I want to post this exact same thing with the Spanish community, the Mozilla Hispano guys in the ModCamp, and for them it's like it's a no. I mean, they have their own forums, as the French do, as the Germans do, and they are not interested in doing this. But if we deliver that capability and that those features in our platform, and teams like the Slovenian or Romanian or any other team that doesn't have a forum wants to use SUMO as a platform, we need to enable that. And we really need support too. And Matash and whoever wants to answer questions in Slovenian, be able to do that within an aggregated environment that is Sune, and not force you to create another forum if you want to offer this type of capabilities. So I think that we all agree with you. We are not yet quite there, but we're talking, and this is something that I went to Moscow to get. How many teams we could have on board on day zero if we launch this feature. And the other thing that I think that is important, and I feel that you were frustrated the other day too when we raised the point too, is the visibility of how many people is your content. So, because I don't you're not seeing that much. So if we can expose that a little bit better, it will be good too, I guess. So you will know that your translations are helping 100,000 Slovenian speakers every month, and
Ibai,
that
yeah, I think that's definitely a good thing. But let's, for the sake of this meeting and
focus. Yeah.
timekeeping, let's stay on topic. So, Vito, really, just to give you a quick historical, because I think part of this is also you're asking why the hell this in the past, like we could have done so. And honestly, part of the reason is that we wanted to wait until there was a clear demand from our communities to create these type of localized supports. Just exactly for the reason that Ibai mentions, that there are communities that would want to use the SUMO support for their support because they have their own. And so we were sensitive about that. But now, today, we have a clear need. We actually have locales that want to use our forum. So now is the time to start to sit down and create a roadmap for 2012 and figure out where this fits in. So that's the top priority right now, is to figure out when can we do this. And also, a part of that is to figure out what do we need to do? Like how will this look like? Is this a 1 week development thing? And that's why Kadir is sitting down with Bram to figure that out. That's why we need to involve UX in the whole decision-making process. So the short answer to your question is very soon we will know when we can do this, and we all agree about the importance of it.
Maybe 10 seconds of my time. I really love it. Fact is that we are thinking of redesigning our Mozilla SI site, and this would fit nicely in there. And we would, if we can, we would be the early adopters. We are small and don't make big fuss, And we are ready to do that. And thanks, David, and everybody to think about it.
Well, I mean, thank you. And obviously, you're already signed up as the early adopter locale for this. So you will be kept in the loop, and we will we will use you as the guinea pig that you are, Vito. But in all seriousness, thank you for providing the feedback. And this is a good reminder for us that this is important, and it's something that we need to prioritize in our roadmap. So this feedback is very helpful. Thanks for that. All right, let's keep going. Do we have any? Actually, Michael, yeah, take over, please.
I was saying it looks like half the group has. Well, I guess there's 4 of you guys in one room there, but we lost Michelle. Is Michelle still on? Is she on the phone?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. We just lost a video. Got it.
You can't see me?
Oh.
Yeah, we actually see her, but that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. It's just me. Hello. A couple of things to note. The Firefox roadmap was updated yesterday, and there's some SUMO initiated features on there. Yay. What else? IRC meetings. Michelle, do you want to say this one?
Oh yeah, I put these three on because I wasn't here last week, so I apologize for that. But I did watch the video, which is cool. So the first one is yes, we had the first IRC meeting. We're gonna do these. SatDav is leading them once a month on the first Thursday. And so we had our first one last week. There's a thread in the forum about that if you're interested in the content. And it was fun. You should join us next time. This Thursday is Sumo Day again. Woohoo! Our last Sumo Day was awesome. More than 80% of questions were answered by the community, which is great. I think now that there are so many of us, we should each just try to do like 3 or 5 a day and then 10 on Sumo days, and we'll have our 100% shortly because we're pretty much above 70% now on the forum, which is great. And then I wanted to mention Scooby Diver had sent out a summary of issues he saw on the French forum a couple weeks ago. And that was really awesome. That's a great way for us to validate the issues that we're seeing in English. And I just wanted to recognize his effort there. So thanks, Scooby Diver.
Cool. Any other things for the roundtable or comments or questions about the ones we just talked about? Vito says, can we have the Scooby's report? It's in the forum. I'll post a link. Sorry, reading from IRC. Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
I think that's it.
Firefox status.
There was a question before that on the...
Oh. Lucy says, how does community IT factor into the need to onboard community support, i.e., there are new avenues for helping local communities provide support?
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Yeah, me either. Lucy, can you say that again? Sorry.
Let's move on in the meantime and then revisit this question.
Yeah,
Okay.
It sounds like continuation of our last conversation because I was typing it into IRC.
All right.
Cheng,
So Firefox status update.
Yep.
Yeah, go. Sorry. Bad habit.
Yeah, so 1001, yes, 1001 released on Friday. That's a really weird number to try and read. Okay.
Cheng, I can barely hear you.
Sorry. Is it muted? No, it's not muted. I don't know.
I can hear.
I'll try and crank that up. Better?
Good.
All right. 1001 released on Friday. It's just a small fix. It's basically very well detailed in the contributors forum, so I'm not going to go into details here. But I did a quick scan Saturday night, and there seems to be a couple new issues coming up. A lot of them actually are from Firefox 10 users. It just seems like we're getting new issues after a week compared to new issues after like after a day. So it's all listed there. And I'm probably not going to go into that much detail. I'll update the contributor forum with details for all of these issues and kind of what the plan is from the release team once I hear back from them.
Hey, Cheng, can I ask you, and also anybody else, if we're talking about stuff that there's a contributor forum thread, can you link to it in the notes? Because it makes it super easy for me to put it into the blog post or the contributor forum post later.
Let me do that. Okay, I'll add the link.
Thank you. Anything else? Questions? Lucy, what did she say? Nothing yet, still working there. Hello, Lucy. And so let's go on to metrics. Did we lose Berlin? No, they're there. Kadir?
I was just muted again.
Aha.
Do you want to switch?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Best meeting ever.
Okay, so the updates are on the Google Doc. And what you can see this time is the community contributions in the forum have skyrocketed. Actually, like for example, the replies in the forum have doubled over the last week. So I think, Michelle, that is the positive effect of you. Thanks a lot for that. Active contributors, from usually we have 3. This time we have 18 new people registering. Usually we have about 20 people in the forum. This week we had 60 people in the forum as contributors. That is amazing. That is great. Thanks a lot for all of that. There are also a few puzzling things, but it's all in all, it's and of course, I would also like to thank the community for all of that, because it means that a lot of people are being helped, and we have a lot of happy users. So thanks everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone who's mentoring new helpers, because it's, as we all know, tough to answer questions out there when you're new. I still feel really new myself, and it's great to know when you're out there that we have such great moderators to help us learn. Lucy's posting back some more details about what she was talking about before. Oh. Keep going, Michael.
Okay. Metrics. Did you want to say anything about mobile metrics?
There's nothing really that new. I did get the separate Firefox for Android mailing list taken off the Android market a few weeks ago, and so we're seeing a little bit of an increase in questions on SUMO, which is good. We'd much rather have the questions coming to SUMO than going into the black hole that was that mailing list. So thanks to Irina and Jacqueline for removing that.
Oh, that wasn't.
Otherwise,
I thought that was an Android store requirement. No.
No, I never was. I think that was a great myth. Don't get me started on that.
Awesome.
But
There's a requirement on the iTunes store, and I think they just carried that over.
No, I knew it never was. It's just a form field, just delete. So they finally did
Michelle,
it, which is great.
by any chance, do you know who is doing the iTunes thing? Like, I don't even know where that goes. On iTunes, we are required to, or in the App Store, in the Apple App Store, we are required to leave an email address where people can ask questions. I have never gotten any email from there, and I don't know where it is set up. Did you maybe also get into that?
The Firefox Home one?
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah, that would be eBay.
Oh, Firefox Home is officially unsupported. Not really, like officially on hiatus. So that's a different topic. That if we want to cover this next week, I can talk about it, but it will take like 15 minutes.
Oh, he was just
there are
asking where
some efforts to maintain it, but at the moment it's like on sabbatical. Let's put it that way.
No, he was just asking if you know where the emails go.
No, but I'm gonna take a look.
It may go to Stuart. I wonder. I'm looking to see what the
Or
email
Ragavan.
address right
Maybe.
now, or Ragavan.
Not the Stuart. Maybe Stefan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at it. I will keep you posted.
Okay. Any other questions about metrics? Nope. Knowledge base. Just so you guys know, last Friday we had a presentation from Susan and Crystal and Bram about the information architecture and their findings from all the research they did. So there's a long audio post and a whole bunch of slides and a document with a bunch of recommendations. And and we need to go over that, and they need some feedback on that before they go on to phase 2. So you should check that out. And sorry, were you going to ask me to say something, Kadir?
So the question was whether we should proceed to do that meeting on Wednesday, or whether we want to do something beforehand. Any opinions on that?
Have a meeting on Wednesday to decide whether to move forward?
Well, yeah, the idea is, should we do something beforehand, or do you want to meet on Wednesday and then talk about that in more detail? Because the earlier we do that, the better it is. But I can understand that it's a big presentation, and if you want to go through the whole thing, it's very, very big. So it might take time. I wanted to just see if everyone is okay with meeting on Wednesday about that.
I'm okay with it. I'm wondering, though, why we would have any reason to not move forward. I mean, we're basically, what my understanding, maybe I'm wrong, is that we are giving the green light to move forward on additional testing. So we have testing from the information architecture today, and then the next step is for them to test the proposed information architecture, right? And then presumably understand the delta between the two. So I don't see why we would want to delay that at all personally, but I'm sure other people have opinions. But and also in the, to limit yet more meetings, I would love to just give it a thumbs up personally. I thought the presentation was good, and more testing should.
Yeah, I mean, it is not to delay anything. Like, if at all, we would like to ask them to do to test something different, or to ask them in detail about why they think that this is a good proposed architecture, because that is going into testing. And if we are unhappy with what they are testing, they would have to do this stage again once they're done.
Oh, right. But I'm saying, I mean, whether or not we're happy with it, I mean, the testing will tell us if it's good or not, right?
Put in there before they spend 3 weeks on something, and then we give them the input, hey, could you also test this or for this? And then it would take another 3 weeks to do that, because of everything that is involved in doing that. So this is just an opportunity for us to ask questions and get peace of mind on the things that they've proposed. It doesn't mean, so what they will give us is a final proposal. Doesn't mean that it is the final information architecture that will be implemented. But hopefully it will be the final information architecture that will be implemented. So this is the stage where we still can get our input in easily. After that, it will delay things.
Okay. Well, Cheng, do you want to say something? Because, I mean, Cheng brought up some things that he'd like to check out or something, right?
Sorry, I got distracted by conversation RC. Can you just give me a little bit more context?
The whole information architecture signing off on
Right.
phase 1. You had some things you wanted to investigate first.
Yeah, so the information architecture thing was that I looked through all of Crystal's raw, or not Crystal's, I guess Susan's raw data, and a lot of the conclusions they drew from the data seemed very specific to when the data was collected. So it was collected around Firefox 6. A lot of Firefox 6 problems are showing up there. And I'm worried that she's going to build a taxonomy based solely on that. And so I'm going to sit down with Susan and Crystal this week. I have it on my calendar, and we're going to try and talk through the issues she brings up and try to figure out which of them are long-standing versus which of them are perhaps no longer an issue and shouldn't be part of a long-term taxonomy. That's all.
So, Kadir was talking about having a meeting to talk about these things on Wednesday. Is that before or after your meeting with them?
Let me find out. should have got an invite from Crystal on this one. I think it's actually before. I might want to reschedule with Crystal. I think it's on Thursday that I have with Crystal right now. But I can move it till today. I have a bunch of open time, so I'll ping Crystal and see if we can have a quick talk today.
Okay. So Kadir, what does that mean?
Well, depends on everyone else as well. Like if Cheng is the only one who is unsure about that, then that would just leave me, and I have to go through the whole thing, and it will take me a day at least. I wanted to do that tomorrow, so that is why I proposed to meet on Wednesday to give it the green light. That is basically all there is. If anyone else also has any input into that, we could do that quickly on Wednesday.
Well,
But
based on what
if
you
there's
said,
if there's no pushback, couldn't we just give it a green light right now? And you're gonna investigate it anyway, and Cheng is gonna look into the stuff that he was unsure of the data that we used, and then we can just move forward without.
So
a meeting.
I'm not.
Well,
so my concern isn't the overarching plan. Like I want to make sure that like my concern is about like some specific.
Yeah, no, I got that. You wanted
Okay.
to check on the specific metrics that you didn't feel like that you felt might be temporary for Firefox 6, for example.
Right.
So you want to clear that up. But given that is not a concern, what other concerns do we foresee here?
no, actually, that is a concern because if we build our taxonomy on top of that, they will test that now, and then we will be testing a maybe outdated taxonomy instead of something that would be useful over several versions.
So why don't we make the next step for Cheng and you to figure that out, and then based on that we can make a decision of whether we need to meet about this or if we just give a green light over email.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, if this is truly our last opportunity to give feedback, then I probably, would. I was just under the impression that we're just going into another round of testing. So thanks for that clarification, Kadir.
No, I should clarify again. So this is the last round of testing before we can always do testing. But this is in the plan, in the timeline, this is actually supposed to be the last large-scale testing before we go into designing the system. The system itself will of course also be tested. Like we will have paper prototypes to test this, but the taxonomy of it should be that is one of the deliverables that we will get after 3 weeks.
Okay, so it's to ensure we get a valid test. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, right now, giving opinion and feedback is cheap. After 3 weeks, it's expensive.
Okay. Probably should give some then, in that case.
So Cheng and Kadir, why don't you follow up once you've done that investigation about the specific concerns that we have, and then we can figure out when or if would be a good time for the meeting, and presumably on Wednesday.
Sure.
Okay. Any more questions, comments about information architecture? Okay. I just wanted to note that Firefox 11 updates, I'm sure I'll be focusing on them this week. I saw Michelle was working on them over the weekend. There's some Firefox 11 updates to finish. So. And anything else? Mobile services, support forum, live chat.
I use that services, and I guess that applies to mobile too. We are going to be working in the native UI this week. We had a meeting last Friday, Michelle and I, and there's some stuff that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Even though we don't know if native is going to land in 11.
Right.
Do you have an update on Marketplace?
Then all you have to do is change the for markup, and then it's still valid. Yay. Just change the number for 12. Done. I got to file the bug to add 12 support to the wiki today anyway, so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kadir, I cut you off. There was you asked a question.
I was just interested, is there an update on the Marketplace when it will start?
Times has as planned. So basically, we will have a super beta alpha version on March for consumers, and something like they are trying to call it now reserve your name alpha for developers in a couple of weeks, late February. So it's not gonna be even ready to upload the application, but at least you can register your name and the name of your application, and that's
Wait,
gonna stick because the previous version that we launched, the developer preview, that's gonna be erased. So whatever was uploaded there, it's not valid anymore. But whatever is launched in 2 weeks is gonna be there. So if you register yourself, that account is gonna stack. It's gonna stick. Sorry.
okay.
Who is
Well, if
making fun of who? This is
It's
pretty
not.
weird.
I'm not. It's not doing it this week on mine, is it?
Mozilla laughs, and then I thought of that picture, and then it covered it for me. So I'm very easygoing right now.
Because I'm seeing like several group of people like having fun, and it's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
weird.
sorry. If you look in Pound Sumo, you'll see why. But that's just my
Oh,
bad, terrible timing and sense of humor. So don't worry about it.
Right.
okay. I thought that it was super funny, like the marketplace. Oh, it's so funny. It's so like really.
it is, it totally is.
It is fun. Yeah,
Hilarious.
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Spider-Man sitting and bouncing around in his office, but who knows?
And the thing is that the plans are that the launch is gonna be super slow. That's the last update I got. The last change is that it's not gonna be like a massive launch with all the jingles and super massive campaigns, but it's gonna be slow.
Jingles, like we have jingles for. What's the
Yeah, of
Firefox
course.
jingle?
Buy your application in the market. No?
Nice, nice.
It's
Okay, y'all,
the
auto-tune and
American
remix, please.
commercials are like ruining my mind. David knows what I'm talking about.
Worst commercials in the world. Let us quickly see if there's anything else we should cover for this meeting.
One, I should just say that, I mean, I think people know this, but Firefox Native did not make beta last week or the week before when it actually would have gone to beta. So we're 2 weeks behind the train now, and I expect, based on what I'm hearing, that there is going to be more detail about a renewed schedule this week. So
Could
they
you
will have
read? Could
some
you
sort of
help?
plan to provide to everyone this week that gives information about dates and schedule.
Yep. Okay.
Guys, just one last thing. Could you please update the wiki with the information that you just gave in this meeting? Unfortunately, I was not able to type during this meeting, so it would be really great if you could put in your own information into the wiki. That's all. Thank you.
Which means that I have
They didn't hear you.
Okay, thanks everyone, and have a great week.
Bye.
And thanks, Michael.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.